Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. We have another movie review for you, 2024's Night Swim. It came out in January, I believe, and not a lot of people thought it was anything great. Made by Blumhouse, they've been, tossing out some horror movies here and there, mixed reviews all the time. The movie was available to stream on Peacock on Friday, so I gave it a watch to see if it was as bad as everyone is saying it is, and you know what? They're kind of right. It's not terrible, but it still isn't great. I'm gonna be real. Night Swim is probably middle of the road at best. There are some okay moments in there and like maybe one or two decent scares, but other than that, you have like alright characters and an okay story for what they had to work with. Just overall very like shoulder shrug. You can watch it. If you never see it, you're not missing much, but I wanted to give it a watch. I wanted to put out a review, so here we go. For my reviews, I like to do a spoiler-free section and then a section with more details and spoilers and moments and kind of like a little mini rundown of it. And so that's what we're gonna do. So spoiler-free version right now. If you haven't seen it, you can listen to this and determine whether if you want to check it out or not. A family of 4 buys a house with a swimming pool in the back, and as you can probably tell by the trailers or just anything you might have heard about this movie, the swimming pool is haunted. Oh no. The pool spits out some black water or ooze, whatever you want to call it, and it has the ability to possess someone. And anytime one of the members of the family enter the pool at night, the lights start flickering, things get a little spooky, and it kind of just makes them terrified of this pool. I think the characters are likable enough, and again, for what they have, the story is okay. I think the main problem is you can't do a horror movie about a haunted swimming pool and try to take it seriously. I honestly think a movie like Night Swim could have worked if it went more on the goofy side and didn't take itself too seriously. Because to be honest, no matter how good the scares could have been, I'm not gonna buy a haunted swimming pool, man. I'm gonna walk into that movie and be like, oh, that's creepy pool, I guess. I'm not gonna get anything further than that. But if you play into it, make it funny, then at least it'll be a good time. This is just, it's not that. Now, obviously, you don't want to make a bad movie on purpose and send it to theaters, but if they would have just had a bit more fun with the premise, then I think Night Swim could have been really fun. But because they took the haunted swimming pool story and played it straight, you're just left with the kind of average horror movie, if you can even call it average. Now, personally, I wouldn't call Night Swim a good movie, but I also wouldn't call it a bad movie. It's just right in between. Now, if you are so curious about Night Swim, I would say, yeah, sure, go give it a watch. It's not like a waste of time or anything. Just be warned that it's just simply okay. Now we're going to be moving on to spoiler territory, so if you want to go watch the movie and you don't want anything spoiled, go watch it now, then come back, or don't. I'm not the boss of you. Do whatever you want. Now there is a cold open to this movie, but I'm going to get to that in a little bit. Our main characters are a family of 4. First up, we have Ray, who was a professional baseball player, but was forced to retire due to struggling with MS. Then there's his wife, Eve, who I believe is studying to become a special needs teacher, I think. And then there are their 2 kids, Elliot and Izzy. They're alright as well. They do extracurricular activities like baseball and the swim team, so personalities, alright. Now, while not too deeply explored, the family's personality traits, add a little extra meat on the bones to this movie, so that's always a good thing. Ray desperately wants to get back into baseball, and he wants to prove that he still has a lot left in the tank. Elliot seems like he keeps on trying out for baseball, but doesn't ever really make the cut for the team, and he feels like he might be disappointing his dad. Eve is just overall a good mother. She really cares for her kids. With Ray retired from baseball, they can actually stay in one place instead of him being traded to team after team. And, they can actually kind of start a real family life. And while Izzy isn't explored too much, she's still kind of like, the teenager that has been moving from school and home to home, but now that she thinks she has a chance of staying in one spot, she's like, hey, please, let's just keep this thing going. So like I said in the beginning, all the family members are likable enough and they do not drag the movie down. They're probably one of the stronger parts of the movie. Now let's dive into the pool itself. Get it? Because like diving. At the beginning of the movie, we're served a cold open that takes place in 1992. There's a little girl. She's like, oh, hey, there's a sailboat in the pool. Let me go check it out. And then she tries to grab it. She falls in because it seems like something might have pushed her. I'm not entirely sure. The lights start to flicker. She gets dragged underwater. And then when we get an overhead shot of the pool, she's nowhere to be found. So maybe she got sucked down the drain. Who knows? She just disappeared. Then we cut to present day and the Wallers are looking for a new home. And of course, you guessed it, they buy the house with the pool in the backyard. While the family tries to clean the pool, Ray reaches down into the drain and gets a very nasty cut on his hand. And from the drain, the pool starts spewing out some nasty ass water. The first family member to get a taste of what this new pool of theirs is going to bring is Eve. She's going for some late night laps in the pool. While swimming, she sees Ray, but when she pops pops up out of the water, nobody's there. But who cares about seeing people that aren't actually there? We have more important things to talk about. We see that the Wallers own a little chunky boy named Cider, who is a very nice kitty cat, very big chunky boy. Hopefully nothing bad happens to poor old Cider. After Eve's done using the pool, it's Cider's turn to go for a little swim, but he starts hissing at the boat that we saw in the cold open. When we cut to the next morning, the family notices that his collar is in the pool, but Cider is nowhere to be found. On the bright side though, Ray notices that the cut that he got from the drain is now completely healed, and he also gets news from his doctor that he is recovering incredibly fast from MS. Looks like doing some aquatic therapy is getting Ray into tip-top shape again. It's now Elliot's turn to take a dip into the pool, and when he thinks he sees Izzy, he gets out of the water, no one's there. Same thing happens over at the diving board, thinks he sees Izzy, nobody's there. However, he does hear a voice that sounds like it's coming from a little kid. The voice says her name is Rebecca. Elliot goes to take a closer look, but comes face to face with a scary ghost lady. Now we're going to take a little break from the pool and stick with Elliot and his dad for a little bit. When Elliot goes to baseball practice, his dad joins him to help coach. The head coach asks Ray if he wants to take a few swings, and of course he says yes. Swing 1 and 2 don't go so well. He then starts thinking about the pool and hits one hell of a swing and nails that sucker. All the kids on the baseball team start crowding around Ray while his son Elliot is just sort of standing off to the side. Eve and Elliot have had a run-in with the pool shenanigans, so now it's Izzy's turn. Izzy invites a boy over from the swim team that she's crushing on while her parents are out at dinner. They're playing a game of Marco Polo, but of course it goes wrong. Now Izzy thinks she's approaching swim team boy, but really she's coming up on a creepy, like, ghost fat dude or something. The shot of her slowly approaching the creepy little ghost is actually kind of cool, but then we see a close-up of the ghost and then it just looks kind of stupid. Later on, Elliot tries to talk to his sister, saying that, hey, I saw you get freaked out by the pool. You saw something too, didn't you? She admits that, yeah, she saw something freaky, but asked Elliot to keep quiet because 1, no one would believe them, and 2, she doesn't want to have to move houses again, and you know what? You can't really blame her. And now it's time for a pool party, whoop whoop. While everybody's having fun in the backyard at the pool party, Elliot is upstairs keeping an eye on them with his camera because he's big brain. Eve is still pretty paranoid about the pool, so she asks her realtor lady, you know, what's going on, and the realtor lady tells her that a little girl named Rebecca drowned in the pool. Ray is outside enjoying the party and asks a kid from the baseball team to get on his shoulder so they could play a game of chicken inside the pool. When Ray is underwater, something comes out of the drain and enters him and pretty much takes over his body. So he holds tightly to the kid's legs while he's on his shoulders and brings him down into the water and attempts to drown him. Since Elliot was upstairs watching the whole thing happen, he's quickly able to go downstairs and call for help before it's, too late. Of course, after that happens, everybody's freaked out, and that includes Eve. Eve wants to get far away from this house, but as she's backing out of the driveway, Ray starts violently shaking and we see black lines start appearing on his neck. Later on, we see that Eve is doing a bit of research and she learns that there are other people that have mysteriously disappeared while at their house. She ends up going to visit one of the previous homeowners named Lucy. Lucy is actually Rebecca's mother, and while Eve is talking to her, Lucy fills her in on the backstory of the pool. It used to be an old spring and it apparently works like a wishing well. The pool can grant you a wish, but it does require a sacrifice. So back in 1992, Lucy knew that her daughter Rebecca was going to go missing because she was possessed by the pool water, and she wished for her son to recover from an illness, knowing that it would sacrifice Rebecca. Lucy herself is not in the best of shape, and we see that she starts coughing and coughing, and here's where we get probably the coolest shot in the movie. Lucy is staring dead at Eve, and black water is just like pouring out of her eyes and down her neck, and it looks pretty cool. And since she was just coughing and was like on the floor, like dripping all that black stuff, I'm gonna assume maybe she dies after that. And since Lucy might be dead, this is the perfect opportunity for the water to enter Ray fully. While Ray's taking a shower, he starts shaking again, and from the looks of it, he seems to be actually possessed now. Later that night, Elliot's in the kitchen and he hears Cider meowing outside. Cider seems to be just chilling on a pool float because, he's kind of chill like that. But to the surprise of probably no one, it's not Cider, and it's another spooky ghost lady. Elliot falls into the pool cover starts covering the pool on its own. Izzy comes out, and with the help of her mom, they're able to stop the pool from completely being covered. Izzy runs inside and trips and stabs her hand with a piece of broken glass. And while Eve's in the pool on her rescue mission, Izzy's inside and comes face to face with her dad, who is just like teleporting and tripping all over the place. He tells Izzy that it'll all be over soon, and for Elliot, it's better this way. Eve finally finds Elliot, and with the help of Ghost Girl Rebecca, she's able to find her way back to the surface. Ray comes to the backyard, seeing that Eve and Elliot are out of the pool. He picks Eve up by the throat, but from behind, Izzy hits him with his own baseball bat. With a couple of more hits from the baseball bat and some love and encouragement from his wife, Ray, I guess, pukes up the pool water and is not possessed anymore. But it's not over yet because Elliot is being attacked by the water from the inside and is slowly dying. Ray sees the black water coming out from the drain and says somebody needs to pay, and he slowly walks into the pool and he disappears. It's a new day, and this ending sort of confuses me. They have the opportunity to move into a new house, but they decide to stay at this current house because, you know, this whole incident could happen to another family. And that would make sense if the pool was still there, but they literally have people filling it up with dirt, and I'm assuming they're gonna, like, put something over it and it's gonna be like underground. I guess maybe the water could seep through the dirt and then that would like cause some other stuff to go wrong. So I don't know, like what's the point? Like you covered the pool. I don't think it could happen to anybody else maybe, so you are free to move if you want to. Maybe I'm just stupid and I'm not thinking about it clearly enough, but I was a little thrown off by that ending. But there you go, there's the whole rundown of the movie. The pros, a couple of cool shots, family was nice, and it didn't feel like a complete waste of time. The story, while at the end of the day is still about a haunted swimming pool, I think it has some interesting aspects to it. I think I do really enjoy the backstory of the pool. Like if you got rid of the whole swimming pool thing and just left it as a haunted wishing well, and every time you get the wish you want, a sacrifice will be made. I think in a different setting, that movie could probably kick ass. There are some kind of intense moments that I think if it was just like structured differently, they could have been like way scarier. Night Swim made an attempt and it didn't fall completely on its face, but it did stumble quite a bit. As I said in the spoiler-free section, if you are curious about the movie, I'd say, you know, take a chance on it. Maybe you might like it more than I did. But that is my review of Night Swim. If you've seen the movie, let me know in the comments what your thoughts were. Did you like it? Did you not? You know, what do you think it could have done better? I'll see you all in the next video, whatever that may be. Goodbye. Very nice kitty cat, very big chunky boy.